Hey Beans, and welcome to another one of my little rant videos. So today we're going to be talking about whether Animal Jam is actually educational, because they love to advertise themselves as this educational, fun game for children where you can explore this sandbox world and learn all about animals and nature from National Geographic. But as Animal Jam has slowly become more and more controlled by WildWorks rather than National Geographic, and we've just sort of seen a decrease in the educational stuff, I want to ask, is Animal Jam still as educational as it was in the beta? And there's not really a simple answer. That's what I'm going to say. That's why this video is going to be pretty long. So here's the difficulty. In the beta, they always offered the opportunity for people to be educated, but there were so many less things to do that it was such a big part of the game at the time that you basically had to learn about stuff no matter what. Nowadays, there's plenty of stuff to do, but because there are so many new and exciting things like the Diamond Shop, or brand new multiplayer games, or the rarity system, it's much more difficult to get kids to focus on the actual educational parts of the game. So what are these educational parts of the game? Well, we've got Temple of Trivia and the Best Guess game, things like that. We've got the videos that we have with Brady Bar and Tierney and Cammy and all those guys. We've got small puzzles that we do in adventures and stuff, just little things like that. And we've got those books that you read or complete to try and win trophies and stuff. All those little things help kids learn more about animals and nature and fulfill Animal Jam's goal. But again, people don't really do those things. I mean, people are always going to opt to go try and trade for a spiked collar, or maybe play Best Dressed or Falling Phantoms, rather than go ahead and just read a book on a polar bear for an hour. I think it's almost always true. And I know maybe there are a few people watching this video who say, but Julian, I love reading those books, and that's my favorite part of Animal Jam, is figuring out all about this stuff. But I think we can all be honest with ourselves and say that the majority of people aren't playing Animal Jam for this kind of thing. So I guess the real answer to is Animal Jam educational is they offer so many opportunities that it's probably fine that they advertise themselves online as an educational game, because were a parent to sit over your shoulder and force you to play all the educational stuff, then yes, it would be an educational game, but it's not really. It is, however, a sort of life skill education game, but granted, this is something that all games kind of fulfill, so I don't think this fulfills the kind of educational idea that most people assign to these websites and things when you say, hey, this is an educational game. It kind of just gives you general life skills because it's a multiplayer game where you're interacting with other people constantly. It teaches you so many things like social skills. It taught me basic typing. In fact, most of my typing came from Animal Jam, and eventually I had to get so precise because you can't make like a mistake in a jam grammar without free chat, or else it won't take your answer. So basically you have to get fast at typing to socialize and good at typing to get through free chat to kind of play the game and enjoy your friends. And even at a young age, it gave me a good understanding of basic kind of money and saving up and management of like gems and currency. Just knowing that, hey, this Epic Wonders item is worth 10,000. If I spend 1,000 gems on this item here that I really want, then I won't be able to save up for that big item, and I have to save my money and force myself not to spend all that and work hard so that I can go and get the item that I really want instead of giving into the short-term temptation. It also taught me good things like supply and demand and the idea of rarity and why certain things are worth more than other things, and how to introduce new things and how things become valuable over time and how things go up in value and get interest rates and sort of an inflation of more rares coming in. There's so many natural parts to a video game like this that really teach you a lot about the real world, because these are just natural concepts that almost naturally apply to everything. I mean, supply and demand, the inflation, and basic social skills, that's stuff you're going to learn almost anywhere. So again, Animal Jam teaches you some great things, just not in the way that you're thinking, just not in their goal. They're not exactly teaching you all about the anatomy of a lynx's claws, but they're teaching you almost more valuable lessons that I think really do make Animal Jam sort of educational game in a way. But although this is all great, this is stuff you can get from every single game. This is Animal Jam. This is by National Geographic Kids. This is the educational kids game. They always put educational first. It's supposed to be like the parent pleaser. So I'm going to get into my AGHQ developer mode right here and think, how do we make this game more pleasing to parents? What do we do to make sure our kids are showing up at the dinner table saying, guess what? Did you know that polar bears have black skin underneath their white fur? It's true, by the way. It's pretty cool. How do we get kids to show up and say stuff like that and learn cool things from Brady Bar's videos? Well, I think the answer is already in place, just in a very small range. So you know how there are those books that you can read and fill out the questions at the end? I think it's 10 questions, and you get the trophy for whatever animal you learn all about. Well, people do those, and people collect the trophies. People want to have every single trophy, and every single time a new animal comes out, they read everything on the new animal because they want to get these new trophies. They're really cool, and they're worth a little bit because they do take some effort to get, so people like them. So why not do that? Like, why not have a legitimate achievement system and say, hey, you get this achievement if you watch 500 of Brady's videos all the way through. Sure, some people would cheat it, but I bet a lot of kids would actually sit there and watch and learn things from questions that kids their age ask. because those are things that they're interested in, stuff like that. Or, introduce more games like Best Guess or Temple of Trivia, because those are always my favorite games, but Best Guess isn't on very often, even though it does reward pretty good gems, and it's a 50-50 chance. And Temple of Trivia, it just doesn't work anymore, which is so annoying, and I've ranted about this a lot of times, but games from the beta still pay as if they're from the beta, and it's annoying because items are worth so much more now than they were in the beta, and all the new games pay a ton more, but the beta games are still paying you as if all items were like 50 or 75 gems. That annoys me. Anyways, that's one reason people don't play Temple of Trivia, and also, it's just such an old game that not many people play it. And it's not a big deal in most games, but Temple of Trivia takes like 12 to 15 people, I think, to really get an actual game going. And most of the time you join a game and there are 4 or 5, and you don't get that many gems. It's like playing a Best Dress game with like 4 or 5 people. It doesn't happen very much because Best Dress is new and exciting and fun and not educational, but when it does happen, it's really annoying because you get paid so many fewer gems because there are less people playing, and therefore your win is a less of an achievement technically because you didn't beat as many people. So they reward you as if you got like 3rd place in a big round or something. Anyways, there are some problems with those, but Animal Jam needs to introduce new games like that and fix the games that they already have. Make the Best Guess game an actual game and not a party, because when it's on, it's never on, okay? It's never on. Make Temple of Trivia actually pay good gems, because I used to play it non-stop. In the beta, when it was Temple of Trivia and Overflow for gems, I played Temple of Trivia all the time, and I loved it. It's honestly the most fun game in Animal Jam. In my opinion, maybe Best Dressed, but they're both up there. They're both really, really good. And if Animal Jam could just make that actually pay gems again, then people would play it. And also, maybe add some new mechanics or cool new features, or actually, again, make an achievement system. This is the biggest way I think they can make educational things come back in Animal Jam, is to add a legitimate achievement system where they can reward you with in-game items and things to show off because you learn so much. Kids like being smart. I know they do. Everyone likes learning in the end. Maybe you don't like the process of learning, but you like knowing stuff. It's cool to know cool things. So if Animal Jam rewards people with little golden plaques for reading 1,000 books or something, okay, not 1,000, but a lot of books, then I think it would really work. And we do have the achievement system right now, but it doesn't work. It's got to be more like Club Penguin's achievement system, which did actually work. First of all, you get all the achievements, you get double gems for a game. Second of all, people can actually look at your achievements and organize them and order them and see what rare ones you have. Third of all, you can put really good ones on the front of your stamp book. Okay, this isn't Club Penguin. And people can see what really cool things you've done in the game. So if Animal Jam just did these simple little things to make achievements more visible, worth more, and just make people enjoy achievements, they could make things more educational, they can make people play more, they can attract older players, all these cool things. Speaking of achievements and rewards for sort of doing educational things, we need more prizes for doing stuff. Again, Temple of Trivia doesn't pay enough, but in general, none of these things pay enough. And what do I mean by pay? I don't think you should get gems for watching Brady Bar's videos, because that's not really a game, and it kind of kills the whole fun of gems for games. But I think that really there should be something like Brady Bar's little adventure thing where you get items for watching a bunch of videos or reading a bunch of books. Because I think everyone has seen a lot of the Brady's Expedition videos, because every one of those really cool snake items that he had, and they were really cool videos. He picked up tarantulas and saw snakes and stuff. It was awesome. But I think a lot of people watch those because they wanted the prizes. So maybe if everything had prizes at the end, people would do them. Again, people do the books. Let's just get some prizes in there. Honestly, just make learning cool. That's how it was in the beta. Learning was cool. It was the point of the game. It was what you did in Animal Jam, and you got gems for learning, and then you could buy cool items for your animal. Literally, learning was cool because the more you learned, the cooler your animal was, the cooler your den was. Nowadays, the cooler your den is just represents how good you are at Best Dressed. How rare you are is just a representation of either how much you scam people or how much you kind of take advantage of people. So I don't know that it's a total accurate representation anymore of how much you learn from the game, because there are so many other things to distract you constantly, because there are so many new features like spiked gloves and stuff that just really aren't adding anything educational or valuable in the long term to the game. They're just sort of these fun items that come out, and Animal Jam makes a little money off of them, and then they're done. And the final thing, the thing that I think Animal Jam should refocus on, I feel like they haven't been doing it nearly as much recently, is showing kids all the cool community service and awesome stuff they do in the real world. I remember this one thing a long time ago. They said, if you adopt 50,000 pandas, we will adopt one in the real world. Adopt by, get one in the game and play as it. And they actually did it, and it was really cool. And it was a cool, community service thing. It was hey, I helped that happen. That was really cool. They need to do more things like that to make kids aware that there are plenty of cool places to go and volunteer and work. And yeah, again, they're there. They definitely show that stuff. But it's hidden in, the Daily Explorer and stuff that most kids aren't reading. I really think that Animal Jam should put this stuff in the Jamon Journal and, advertise when they're doing really cool stuff with community service. and things that kids can help out with and do in their own neighborhoods. So anyways, Beans, thank you so much for listening to my little rant. I hope you guys have some cool opinions. If so, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.